String object details. String objects will be one of the most used objects placed on labels. A string object is just a small amount of text that appears on a label. To create a new string object, select the text string tool in the lower toolbar. The cursor shape will change to a capital T, and when you click once anywhere over the label, the program will create a new text string whose upper left corner is where you clicked. The text will say New Text String. The default font is colored black and is a normal Times New Roman 10-point font. As with any object, you can right-click it to bring up a Properties menu item, or if it is already selected, you can just click the Properties button in the upper toolbar. You will then see a dialog box that allows you to set all the properties of the string. In particular, you can change its color and font family name and its font point size. You can also choose to set any of the bold or italic or underline attributes. You will certainly want to change the text to contain the character string you need. Just type in the new text in the text message edit box. You can automatically insert the current date or the current time by clicking either of two buttons above the centering option radio group. Let's change the text to read, "This is a test." We will also give the font a 16-point size, and we will make it bold so it stands out. We can change the color to blue. We should point out that the four corners of a text string appear as small, empty white squares when the string object is selected. This means you cannot resize a string object by grabbing a corner. The size of string objects is determined by the size of the font. Next, we want to explain the rotation and centering options. Rotation is the simplest. Any string can be rotated 90 or 180 or 270 degrees from normal horizontal text. The easiest way to do that is to click the Rotate tool in the upper toolbar. Each click of this tool causes the selected object or objects to rotate another 90 degrees counterclockwise from their current rotation angle. If we reopen the text string properties dialog box, we can see a couple of radio buttons that select what is called the centering option. You can center a string on the label or not. When you don't center a string, the A-label program determines the position of the string by using the distances from the left edge and the top of the label to determine the upper left corner of the string. Those are the two distances you see in the string properties dialog box. The subtle point about rotation and centering is that the type of centering changes depending on the rotation angle. When a string has either 0 or 180 degrees of rotation, then the centering option really means horizontal centering. When the rotation angle is either 90 degrees or 270 degrees, the length of the string will appear vertical, and in that case, the centering option really means centering vertically on the label. If a string is centered, you can grab it and try to move it, but it will just snap back and automatically maintain its centered position. However, when the centering option is turned on, you can move the string to any vertical or horizontal position that is not affected by the centering option. This means a 90 or 270 degree rotated string can be moved to any horizontal position on the label while it remains vertically centered. Likewise, a 0 or 180 degree rotated string can be moved to any vertical position while it remains horizontally centered. Whenever you rotate an object, you could imagine that the object is contained within a square where the center of the square and the center of the object are the same point. Thus, the body of the object will appear to rotate about its own body center point. Like all other objects, a text string can be made non-printable, and it can be locked or not. The non-printable property means that the string won't print on a printer. This property might be used to make a comment on a label that won't print. The locked property means you can't move the string by grabbing it and dragging with the mouse. If you lock a text string, you must reopen the Properties dialog to turn off the lock property before you can change its position on the label.